small communities across Oregon like mine, we're tired of the double standards. Neighbors are able to pack into malls and support corporate America, but for some reason, we can't sit down and support a local small business owner along our main street.
That's the Republican mayor of Sandy, Oregon, with us last hour about the state's coronavirus restrictions. He wrote a letter to the Democratic governor there, Kate Brown, saying her orders have bankrupted family businesses. The mayor also has urged businesses to reopen on New Year's Day in defiance of the governor. Joining us now, Jason Rantz, the voice of the West, on air from KTTH in Seattle. Good to see you, Jason. We appreciate it. This sort of shows this divide in some of these really deep blue states, right?
It really does. Look, all of these COVID mandates, wherever it is they're coming from, whether it's in the Pacific Northwest, in the South, or wherever, the COVID mandates are only as good as our willingness to follow them, right? So if everyone tomorrow decided that they're not going to do it, that they're going to heed the calls from this mayor and decide just to reopen, there is only so much that individual states can do about it. When you decide to move forward with mandates that are not necessarily based in science and data, after telling us for months that you're going to be informed by the science and data, you're essentially begging people to push back. I understand why there are mayors who are interested in signing on to this pact, and I certainly understand why there are businesses that are coming forward and saying, look, you told us that contact tracing is the end-all be-all of reopening our economy. Gyms have not been tied to any of the cases in Oregon or in Washington, for that matter. Why are you telling us that we have to be closed down?
Yeah,
we can't survive
We had the
this.
CEO of Waffle House on. They've got 2,000 locations around America. I said, how many cases of coronavirus have been linked back to your stores, all 2,000 locations? He said 0. So there's science there, if you believe it or not. I guess this brings to light sort of a larger question, because we've gone now from sort of fighting back against the lockdown orders to now these potential defiance issues. And we've seen these in certain states and cities, but not in the way of local officials now beginning to sort of try and supersede state law. Where does the rubber meet the road on this? And does Kate Brown send in the state police to shut these businesses down? Or if the mayor says open, is she going to have to take it?
It's probably a little bit of a mix of both. It depends on how much defiance there actually is. If a bunch of cities decide that they are, in fact, going to reopen, the fact of the matter is Kate Brown's not going to be able to do that much about it. Yes, you can send in labor and industries, and they're going to be able to threaten to fine some of these businesses. But at some point, the business themselves, with the backing of their local mayor and their local council, are just going to say, look, if we stay closed, we're going to be closed down permanently anyway. So you can go ahead and hit us with all these fines. We're just not going to pay them. I think it all depends on how much will there is. Governor Brown has a lot of power so long as people say, you have that power. She would be making a smarter move if she would look at the science and the data and show just a little bit more understanding. Say, look, we're not going to close down all of the restaurants, all of the gyms based on the data, but we're going to baby step it because they want to be careful. That at least shows some goodwill on her part towards these businesses. That goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm harking back from what you just said to the Constitution and the Declaration. Consent of the governed was a big part of this whole experiment we all are on 200 plus years ago. Jason, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
You too.